Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Quint. Great to have you with us.
Thank you, Suresh.
Thank
Good
you so
to see
much.
you.
Same here. Okay. First of all, I want to say that I really enjoyed watching AK versus AK. I was thoroughly entertained.
फिल्म इंडस्ट्री का सबसे बड़ा फ्रॉड है।
सर एक फिल्म की कहानी सुनानी सर आपको। सोनम कपूर लापता है, आपको उसे ढूंढना है सुबह सूरज उगने तक। इसमें जो भी होगा असली, आप उसे खोजोगे असली, आपको चोट लगेगी वो भी असली, आप रोगे तो वो भी असली, आप हंसोगे तो वो भी हंसी नहीं आएगी।
I would first of all want to talk to Vikram about the basic idea because that's what stood out, the basic premise of the film. You had said that, the idea was sent to you by Avinash Sampath. What did he send you? Was it like a fully fleshed out script or was it like a basic one-pager idea?
It was a basic one-pager. It was like a pitch almost. It was like like a little bit of a pitch saying. So Avinash is advertising. He's an advertising person, so he knows exactly how to, keep it very sell the idea. So he's literally sold me the idea on a one-page pitch saying, hey, here's the idea, director, actor, and this. And I was like, it's great. It's so clutter-breaking, so fresh and so new, and jumped to it immediately. Of course, it's taken time to make, but I think it's continued to stay fresh and it's very relevant actually.
But was it like a real-life actor and a real-life director playing themselves in the film? Was that the idea?
That was the idea.
Oh, great. Okay. Now, Anil Kapoor, how did you react when the idea came to you? Because it's out of the box. What was your initial reaction?
I just, Vikram came and gave me the script, and that's what he says. That I just ran away. That he expected me to throw the script on his face, but I read it and I loved it, and instantly said yes. Yeah, I had no confusion. Yeah, I just loved it.
Okay, what we've read is usually when something unusual comes to you, like a Slumdog or maybe even Ghost Protocol, you take Harshwardhan sort of pushes you into it. Did you sort of take Harshwardhan's opinion on it?
This is it's my decision. Yeah.
I think Vikram used Harshwardhan's accessibility to Anil Kapoor.
No, I just feel, for me, the filmmaker is very important. When something as challenging and as out of the box, first thing I see, who's the filmmaker? And of course, I've seen Vikram's past work, and I've heard so much from Harsh, and I've we've been meeting earlier also. There is one film which he pitched to me earlier also, which didn't happen. It was about a Sindhi family.
That's still one of the most incredible scripts.
So that really never happened. So when this was pitched to me, so I said, and I want, every actor is hungry and always wanting to work with great filmmakers, and I think Vikram is one of them.
Now, coming to you, Anurag, I saw that your list of acting credits goes down to playing a dead body in Maqbool. Did you always have that acting ka keeda?
No, I used to do theatre, and people, it's friends who are aware that and who have seen me perform on stage, they keep cornering me into acting. This film was also like that. कि blank papers पे sign कर दे, मैंने क्या है, तो sign करना बस, हो गया, उस तरह का था. He just came and told me, film है, idea है, AK versus AK कैसा है, हाँ, एक director है, किसको kidnap कर लेता है, हाँ, करेगा. मतलब एक तू है ना, तभी तो दूसरा एक ढूंढेंगे. So in 2014 on the sets of Bombay Bullet, he got my yes. After that, तो it is whenever he would come to me, he says, ऐसा कर रहे हैं, and I would be like, sent to a room on a very short notice, खत्म करो, दे दो, dialogues. And he would go and flesh it out. Him and Avinash will sit and पूरा सब कुछ flesh out करके ये वो, और फिर sarcasm हमें डालना पड़ता.
Which you enjoyed.
Which I enjoy. I enjoy writing sarcasm.
You want to tell us a little bit about playing a dead body for Vishal Bhardwaj?
Yeah.
It was
Nobody knows
actually
it.
opening scene of Maqbool. So what had happened was Vishal's initial idea was, because he was doing a gangster film, so which was in the script. So they kill the writer of Satya in the opening scene and then start their own gangster film. That was the original idea. So उसमें था कि the whole process of killing, because Irfan kills me with noodles and ketchups and things like that, with tying my tie, which was shot, I remember, at Raspberry Rhinoceros. The scene was shot, but in the final edit, just the dead body remains.
Where is the scene? I want to see the scene.
It was the opening of Maqbool. It was
I
the
want to
opening
see
scene
the
of
scene,
Maqbool. So it was like idea was Satya के writer को मारो पहले फिर Maqbool शुरू करते हैं. So this was original idea. So Maqbool में ऐसा था विशाल का.
It's a fantastic.
How did you find out?
I don't know this either. Well, this is an IMDb.
Vishal has the original scene.
I want to ask him for it.
Now, since there's a mention of Allwyn Kalicharan so many times in the film, I really need to ask, what is the real story behind the shelving of Allwyn Kalicharan? In the film, we hear Anil Kapoor say that he got cold feet because Anurag, तुम्हारा कोई picture release नहीं हुआ था तब तक. So tell us the real story. First, Anil Kapoor's version.
I think better Anurag's version is better.
That's easier to buy. See, I have used everything that's easier to buy. But the thing is, original is the way why films get shelved. There are logistical problems and financial issues, and also, because that was not the time where studios were funding movies. That was also a time films were funded individually. And because they were funded individually, a lot of it was dependent on whether the exhibitors and distributors buy into the idea. So it was too far ahead for them to buy it. Anil was the first person to wanting to do it, pushed me to do it, saw versions of Panch, and before anybody else saw Panch, he said, let's do this film. So fact was that. And then film was launched, but launch at that time used to happen for exhibitors and distributors to buy into the idea. And that's when a lot of people don't buy into this whole kind of a film which is too far gone in their head. So it is not him, it is the industry used to think I'm jinxed. And because the industry used to think I'm jinxed, nobody came forward and backed that movie. So it didn't happen, it got shelved. Because I was considered at that time, ये जिधर भी हाथ रखता है ना वो रुक जाता है. But to blame it on Anil Kapoor is fun.
Anil Kapoor, you want to add to that?
See, we all have gone through these kind of situations where, we want to feel who's the top dog at that time in a project, and so that makes somewhere it's it makes good copy also to certain extent, and to certain extent यार इसी ने किया होगा इसकी वजह से ये वो तो बना सकता है यार, वो दो फोन करेगा तो वो तो दो फोन करेगा तो हो जाएगा. So, but that's never the truth. There are so many other reasons why some films don't get made. And at that moment, you are the person who is easy to blame that person. So, or, write about it and all those kind of things. So, as Anurag said, uski nahi binne se it became a much bigger myth.
वो फिल्म का नहीं बनना became much bigger than all the other films I have actually gone ahead and made.
And I feel somewhere, as he jokingly said, कि विक्रम ने ये प्लान किया था कि उसको एक बनानी थी, और उसने बोला कि ऐसा हम लोग कुछ करते हैं और उसको मिथ बनाते हैं, फिर इसको यूज करेंगे एक
But I think ये सब चीजें धीरे-धीरे समझ में आती है. When you yourself become producer, when you're still yourself dealing with things like that, you realize after that when you get blamed. Because I've been blamed for lots of things not happening. That's when you realize, यार
अनुराग ने मेरे को फिल्म में नहीं लिया, अनुराग है.
There's also a mention of a film called Grant Hotel. Was that a fictitious name, or was there also a project you didn't take off?
It's a film that was written and was to be made.
Okay.
I love that script. I love that script. I like the script a lot.
Now, Vikramaditya, the scene at the police station was terrific. Many a times when you write a scene on paper and then when you actually go and film it, there's a lot of hit and miss. Which was the toughest scene for you to film in AK versus AK?
The police station scene, because it was day one of shoot, was a tough scene because you're finding your feet, crew's finding its feet, actors are finding their feet, so that was there. But I think the tougher ones were probably the climax scene was the toughest scene to shoot, just purely on because now suddenly it's not one, it's 3 cameras, and the performance there has to be like pitch perfect. It has to be absolutely perfect. That was a tough scene to shoot. I remember also it was a really early shift and we were all exhausted. It's the end of the film. We've been doing this now for some time. But these two. But I think the police station scene, but you're right, when that's actually the perfect example of a scene where it's on paper and it's hears it, and then Anurag brings a certain amount of big, and the dialogue writing brings it. Anil Kapoor sort of like looks at it and says, we should do this, we should do that. On the day we're doing the rehearsals and sort of the ideas of like, oh, this person can stand like this and we can do this and wear the sunglasses. And I think there's so many things that, you know, like that whole idea of like saying, you know, the camera to go back, you know, like, and we suddenly get conscious of the fact that, okay, we should be doing these things in the film. We should sort of like, you know, let's not forget that it's still an alien concept in his life, that this camera is constantly looking at him. So you're conscious of it, you know, at what point in time. So small things start to, you know, add up to then make a scene perfect in that sort of sense. Yeah. I think.
And I was petrified of bullet effect.
Okay.
I was shit scared of bullet effect.
On the
यहाँ पे ऐसा जान नहीं होती थी.
You know, the dynamics between your main actor and the director sort of lays the tone for the entire unit. Many times you see on a set कि यार actor और director में थोड़ा ego tussle होता है. Maybe something like a cold war, which may continue through the entire filming. Has that ever happened to you, Anil? And how have you dealt with it?
He has zero ego on the sets.
So
He just
for-
doesn't walk in on the set with an ego at all.
See, for me, it's always the film is paramount. And so I will go all out to see to it that the entire team doesn't have an ego. And everybody works. Being a film person, from a film family, and being in this business since last, and from the time I came into my senses, so almost 60 years. And that's what I've learned from all the filmmakers I was fortunate enough to meet, interact, and there's nothing bigger than the film. So ईगो तो होना ही नहीं चाहिए. तो अगर डायरेक्टर में ईगो है तो उसके ईगो को मैं थोड़ा मसाज कर देता हूँ. अगर कैमरामैन में थोड़ा ईगो है, you know, there are DOPs who are very sometimes have that kind of.
You make
उसको
everyone on the
मसाज-
set feel good.
Huh? Sorry?
You make everyone on the set feel good about
Yeah,
it.
feel good. So that's I'm a people's person. So I, in a very, nobody comes to know, but I keep on in my own way, and it comes very naturally to me. I don't have to make an effort because I've been in production, and I have started my career with from the intern as a production to location manager to a production manager to waking up the actors, picking them up, and seeing what the directors and the producers go through to make a film. So I know the pain of every person in the team because I've met them, spent time with them. So there is so much. So I know I can. पता चलता मुझे किसका कौन costume में है, dress में है. Even the people who are basically the helpers on the set. So I have had a kind of a relationship with all of them, sometime in my career of so many years. So these things help. So ego, अगर film में ego होगा तो अगर काम के लिए ego है तो that's a very good thing. That he uses that ego to make a very very good. So I will be very happy. चलो यार इसकी ego थोड़ा feed करते, but picture साला जबरदस्त बनाता है. यार इसका problem है, इस anger है, इसका issue है. Sometimes तो actor का थोड़ा सा problem है. Some co-actors have some actresses have certain issues of taking time to get ready. I'm very impatient about it. And I'm slightly disciplined of people coming on time and all this kind of thing. कोई लेट आता है ठीक है, हंसते हंसते joke मार
But
के.
one of the biggest signs of an actor, and that to a big star, being very secure is if you really look at the whole of 80s and 90s and even early 2000, he has done the maximum number of films where the actress in the film has stronger roles, where he's secondary to them.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm saying that you will not see in a lot of superstars,
Fair
which he has done
enough. Yeah.
consistently.
Right.
Whether it's with Madhuri or Sridevi or any film like that. He's played secondary to them.
Yeah.
And I fail to understand sometimes that why there are such great scripts and such great ideas of two leading men doing films, and these days two leading men are not doing films together, which is so unfortunate,
It's very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. They're missing out on such phenomenal films. I
Yeah, you
imagine,
and Jackie used to do so many films
we've
together.
done so many films.
Yeah.
You know?
Lovely films.
Yeah, and there are times when he was a much more bankable star. Sometimes I was a bankable star more than him. So, you know, it's like stocks going up and down. But we kept on working with
Actually,
each
the
other.
two leading men here films are stop
बनते ही
getting
नहीं है
made.
यार। Impossible सोचता ही नहीं है आजकल कोई।
That's true.
Now to wrap up, there's been so much AK bashing AK. I just want to hear from both of you. Anil, which is your favorite Anurag Kashyap film and why? And Anurag, which is your favorite Anil Kapoor film and why?
I think Black Friday, I was blown when I saw the film. I remember seeing in a preview theater and I came out of the theater and I was completely blown. Matlab, that was the first time I felt good. कि यार नहीं यार, I started taking credit, I started felt great, that I said, yeah, I saw his punch and I always wanted to work with him and I was right. And that's what I felt when I saw Black Friday.
Okay. Anurag?
मेरा बहुत सारा. It depends. It depends on at what age, which one. When I was in school, my favorite film was Teja and Karma.
Okay.
Later on, it was also Kabja and Meri Jang. Meri Jang was an earlier film. So it became, then just before coming to the industry, the film that made me come here was Parinda.
Right.
And later also then I saw Ishwar. And went on till I also worked with him. In Nayak. So it goes on. It keeps changing. But the thing is, there's far too many of his performances. Like some of his films that have strangely, I liked at that time when I saw it, which affected me so much was Ram Lakhan was one of my actually all-time favorite masala film. Yeah. And Rakhwala, a film like Rakhwala. And there was another Bhatt Saab's ka film.
Thikana and Awargi.
Awargi did not work as much.
No, it didn't work at all.
It didn't work at all, but I loved that film.
Right,
I love that film. So सब बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसे मतलब list endless है.
Vikram, your favorite Anil Kapoor film?
For me, Ram Lakhan.
Ram Lakhan is the ultimate
as a film,
mainstream
as a performance,
masala commercial film.
Yeah. It's just
that. Ram Lakhan for me is also my favorite Subhash Ghai film.
yeah. Karz and Ram Lakhan.
Karz and Ram Lakhan.
Those two films.
Hey, Ram Lakhan or Karma.
Yeah.
Karma.
Thank you so much. And all the best for your film AK versus AK.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.